But there's another receiver that I don't know if we just completely ignored the
We ignored it.
situation. Do you know what I'm about to bring up?
CD.
No, we've been talking about CD. I mean,
Oh, I
we
mean,
talked about Jerry Jones saying that he's there's no urgency in getting the deal done. We
I know,
talked
but I
about
feel like I
CD.
haven't heard much. And
Oh,
I
so
mean, he'll be signed, so whatever.
so then maybe you're not. Maybe you forgot.
I'm not hip. I must have forgot.
So there's a player who you know has been wanting a contract extension. Has apparently missed some practices. It's a team that's already been dealing with problems, drama at the receiver position. It's Jamar Chase.
I thought we resolved this. We didn't.
Nothing is resolved. Bleacher Report actually came up with 4 NFL trade packages for the Bengals that they might have to consider. Because and here I'll read this for you. The Bengals' failure to get a contract extension done with Jamar Chase is starting to border on worrisome. The star wideout had been holding in throughout training camp and recently skipped the practice entirely, an absence that head coach Zach Taylor refused to comment on. With the start of 2024 NFL season drawing near, the Bengals are running out of time to get a long-term deal done with one of the bigger stars in franchise history. While the idea of splitting up Chase and Burrow may have seemed laughable going into the offseason, I would agree. I think,
Oh.
and this is the reason why I think this has kind of been ignored, is because me and you probably would have both assumed, like, oh, well, they're gonna sign Jamar. Like, what? That's probably why. I mean, yeah, they're
Sure.
gonna sign Jamar. They're probably why they can't keep T Higgins or whatever. Whatever was going on with him.
They
But
lost
uh,
Boyd.
even with the oh boy, but remember, wasn't Higgins was a problem though too.
They
There
all
was
wanted money, and
even with the
Higgins got some.
even with the contract drama swirling around Chase, it won't be easy for rival organizations to pry him away from the Bengals. Few players in the league are truly touchable. However, and the right are truly untouchable. However, and the right offer could sway Cincinnati's brass into making a deal. With that in mind, here are some trade packages that would at least they would have to at least consider.
Well, here's the thing. This one is apparently weird because he has 2 years left on his contract.
Right.
And I'm assuming because Jettis got paid, he wants to get paid. Now, I am very interested if he does leave because this shows us who Joe Burrow is. And I don't think Joe Burrow is who we think he is.
Oh my God, you want to see Joe Burrow? Which I mean, as a Raven, I wouldn't mind.
Gonna
But
be honest.
You want to see
I
him
want to see the
crash and
downfall,
burn.
but it is what it is. It'll happen in due time, and maybe it'll be with Jamar Chase. No one really knows.
But I mean, okay, if we're sitting here looking at Justin Jefferson getting paid when we know the Minnesota Vikings are so fucked,
Yeah.
so fucked.
Well, and I think that's why you pay it, Justin Jefferson.
Sure, but this is like a key piece for the Bengals in their next
Forever.
5 years of
And this is an actual team with contention possibilities.
and they're swaying on paying him.
I know.
That's a
Well,
big
all
deal.
right. When was the last time they ever paid anybody? AJ Green?
Burrow?
No, like a receiver. Like everyone's going to pay their quarterback regardless nowadays.
I
No one's not paying a quarterback.
I don't know. I mean, AJ Green, Jamar Chase ain't AJ Green ain't Jamar Chase.
No, I agree, but they haven't. They haven't had good enough guys to pay anybody in a long time.
I feel you, but I just did not until literally like maybe a day ago. Didn't even think about putting this on as a topic.
No, and apparently he hasn't. He's been reporting at training camp, but hasn't done much else. But I looked at the depth chart, I saw that Boyd was gone. I saw Higgins and Chase were there still, and I figured that was what they're going to be rocking with. But also, it's like, I don't know.
I mean, if it came down to it, if Jamar Chase, if it came down to like, all right, well, we need to pay him or he's not going to play for us, I think he's getting paid. I think this is a situation. This is a player that can sit out, cause drama, and get paid.
Yeah, and I think.
Go ahead.
I think receivers have done a good job at that, but I mean, you never know at this point. Teams are going to start to get more stubborn with who they're paying because it didn't work for the running backs. Those guys wanted to get paid, and it never worked for any of them.
Yeah, but like you said, he's got 2 years on his contract. Maybe the Bengals just don't have the deal ready for him yet. You know,
No, and
maybe
they
just
and generally you don't get paid 2 years before your contract year.
yeah. When you see guys that you might think you're better than get paid, you might be going.
Understood, but he's in a much different situation. This is a team that has the potential to contend. I understand that they just paid your quarterback, and you guys are the same draft class, whatever. Thing is, are they the same draft class?
Yeah,
Was Jamar 21?
the same.
Were they all 20?
No, I don't remember.
Whatever. Um, but yeah, no, you're not on the Vikings where they're not paying anybody else right now. You're on a team that needs people.
Yeah, that's the thing.
They're
You're
good.
in a situation where you could win now and then still get paid
You could get paid a lot more next year
with Cincinnati or with
with
somebody
Cincinnati or
else.
with whoever. Yeah,
But they do have 4 spots. Now, I will say with this first one, the Cleveland Browns.
that
I
would
do.
be dangerous. Also, they're not doing that.
There's no way the Bengals are giving anybody they even consider decent at the sport of football to the
No,
Cleveland Browns.
no.
It's just not happening. And they're sitting there saying a
I mean, not in the
2025,
trade. No.
a first round pick, a fourth round pick, and Amari Cooper for Jamar Chase.
A
Um,
first, a fourth, and Amari.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
not
See,
worth
yeah,
it.
no, I don't. No, no. Cleveland Browns. I'm gonna say absolutely not. Now
I
you
mean,
send them
probably great
over.
for the Bengals, but
You send them over to a team like the Green Bay Packers over in the NFC. Not a big deal. Don't gotta worry about them unless what you face them in the Super Bowl or something.
sure.
Which if you're trading Jamar Chase, you're probably not making one. Um,
Agreed.
they would trade a first, a third, and Christian Watson.
Christian Watson, yeah. Well, they're going to
Which
take every team's best receiver and then some.
yeah. Which I mean, if we're talking like what you know, I guess long term value, Amari Cooper or Christian Watson. I mean, I'm taking Christian Watson.
Amari's got
Um,
1 or 2, maybe 3 left on his thing.
Patriots. Now it is an AFC team, but it's a team that
Who
I mean,
who who are they getting from the Patriots?
oh, see, they're gonna get a first round. Oh, hey, there you go. There, yeah, you good? There we go. They're gonna
We're
get a
alive.
first round pick. They're gonna get a third round pick, and then they're gonna get wide receiver Demario Douglas. Yeah, yeah. You want to talk appealing? You want to talk appealing?
I've heard the
I'm a.
name.
So if you were wondering why they couldn't get a deal done with the Niners for Ayuk, that's because
That's why,
Demario
because they
Douglas
have
is the
nothing to
best they
give.
have to offer.
Is
Um,
is a 6th round Demario Douglas is the best they got? That sucks.
and then this final team that they have on here as a trade destination for Jamar Chase is, I think, if not one of two of the only teams that I think the Bengals would never trade Jamar Chase to ever. Um, who would you think that'd be?
Steelers or Ravens?
Yeah, the
Is it
Pittsburgh
the Ravens?
Steelers. The Pittsburgh
Steelers.
Steelers. And in this scenario,
Pickens and a
this
first and a third.
no player, a first round pick, a third round pick, and a fourth round pick. So,
Why the
so,
hell?
so they think that there is a chance that the Steelers will be able to get Jamar Chase, keep George Pickens, and only have to give them a first, a third, and a fourth.
But I mean, how funny would that be to see that happen and then just see the Steelers do nothing and
Go
crumble
nine
with
and
it?
eight.
Of course.
Go
I
nine and
mean,
eight. Danger Rush
they're
shits
they're
the bed.
born crumblers, but the thing that's funny about the Steelers is that their thing right now and over the past couple of years since they lost AB and the 3Bs and all that shit was like, look at what we're doing with what we have, you know? They're
Mm-hmm.
going to hit a point where they get something and have no idea what to do with it but play mediocre football. So,
I mean,
because they have a mediocre quarterback on both ends, and they're not going to be able to do anything with it. So,
Pickens is definitely up there when we're talking about someone where it's like, all right, like, and I mean, I think we're witnessing that with the Steelers. It's like, all right, you got George Pickens, but what the fuck are y'all gonna do with him?
yeah, they ain't going to do shit.
Like, I mean, y'all can keep going 9 and 8. This shit is cool.
Yep.
You can have Mike Tomlin here for the next 2 decades and barely slipping into the playoffs every
You
season.
guys might slip into the playoffs a few times.
Maybe.
Yep.
But I don't know. Because the fact that right now it's like, oh, is Russell Wilson's job safe? It's like, if Russell Wilson's job isn't safe because of Justin Fields, you're not in the best situation.
They're in a horrible situation.
A terrible situation.
Like, yeah, if Justin Fields is gunning for that guy's job. Now, again, I think I've said this before, but if Russ doesn't do well this year or even start this year, he doesn't have much of a shot for the rest of his career.
Yeah, no.
We're getting borderline on this is the problem, and it's him.
I think I think he was in a make or break. This is definitely definitely a make or break season for Russell Wilson. I
didn't think it would be this much of one. I didn't think it would be like, hey, you could never touch the league again. I mean, if you get beat up by Justin Fields off of not injury, anything, just pure production, you're fucked. Especially for a long time.
It could turn into a situation where it's just you're not worth the time. Like maybe you have the talent to, like you still have like obviously you still have it in you to be a backup quarterback. But like RG3 said, I got GMs reaching out to me saying, we would sign you, but we don't want that much attention drawn to our backup quarterback. It would just draw too much attention. Maybe that might not be the
there
case
wasn't much attention drawn to the Baltimore Ravens when you guys had them. Well, there wasn't much attention
to RG3 at least. There were no
to RG3. No,
yeah, no. But
now
I can see that being a scenario for Russell Wilson.
I think Cam Newton and what's his name are the same age. Russ.
Yeah, Cam and RG3. They should
Russell.
be around. They should be. Oh, Cam and Russ.
Yeah, they're the same
all
age.
Be around the same age.
They're probably all around the same age. I think RG3 might be a little younger, maybe. I don't know.
Was RG3?
Yeah, he's 34. They're both 35. But I mean, this just might be the end for Russ, and maybe he's a little past his prime, and we have to believe it.
No, this is it. This is it. This is
well, it. I mean, like, no, is it now, or is it at the end of the year?
He would have to make it glaringly obvious that he made the Steelers a better playoff team.
To make this team?
Like, it would have to be like to further his career.
Oh, no, but I'm talking like, does he? Like, I didn't think we would be talking this way, but does he have it in him now to start on this team, given the past 2 years of garbage, plus how much the Steelers are taking on for this guy?
I think he does, and I also think just with being the Pittsburgh Steelers, he has enough to prop. Like I know it sounds like a joke, but they'll probably go 9-8.
Sure.
They'll have a winning record, and they'll get praised for that, but like eventually it's gonna be like the cycle is gonna hit. There's gonna be a point where it's gonna be like, all right, like cool, you don't have a losing season. Can you do anything else? Can you take a step in the right direction?
And I honestly don't think it's going to take that much longer. And I know we're hyping up this Falcons team with Kirk, and I think Kirk's in a similar situation. Going to be completely honest, and I think he is. I think we hype it up a lot, like he's a great player. But I think
Kirk's been Is Russ?
Of course not.
Then he's not in the same situation.
Is Russ what?
Hyped up as a great player.
Sometimes.
No, not like
Sometimes
Kirk.
He is.
Not like Kirk.
But he has the protection of being on a consistent team for a long time, and then you look at his tenure with the Broncos. Some of it gets put on him, but a lot of it gets put on the coaching staff and all the other bullshit that happened with not having any of the other pieces.
But Kirk was wanted and paid by Atlanta, and it was, and the conversation was like, we need you, and you get and look at the weapons you get to play with. Right now, is Russell Wilson going to start or Justin Fields?
No, but I'm saying I know Kirk is going to start, but it's like how impactful, how good will he be over the next year or two?
I think he can have less of an impact this season and still have a better, secured job than Russell Wilson. I think he can do less than like what I'm saying is Russell Wilson can play 17 games, go 9-8, play like shit, and everybody be like, well, I mean, I guess like they made it by. There are so many scapegoats for Kirk this season.
Well, Kirk's had what I'm saying is Kirk's had scapegoats for a long time. He hasn't dealt with much scrutiny since he's left Washington,
But that's
and he
but
really
that,
didn't deal with much then because it wasn't on him; it was on the team.
and I agree with that. But I'm just saying I just don't agree that they're in the same situation.
No, I don't think they're in the same situation, but I think that they're two players who are arguably at the end of their careers if we look at their football play and not how they're valued by their organizations.
But I think one's career could be ended after this season,
I think one's career could be ended mid-season.
possibly.
That's Russ.